This is the 23 News Update at 10.
One of Rockford's largest improvement plans also solves one of Rockford residents' biggest requests, repairing roads and replacing water treatment plants.
23 News reporter Jake Pearson talks with city decision makers about the latest capital improvement plan, which was approved with $322 million in funding.
The new program will span the next 5 years, focusing on fixing the Forest City's infrastructure. With most construction plans set for next year, Rockford's Public Works Director says 2024 will be the largest year of construction in Rockford history.
The people who live here want quality roads and they don't want aging, crumbling infrastructure.
If Rockford residents had $100 to spend on transportation, the most likely project they would pay for are new or repaired equipment, according to a Public Works survey.
We've told the people every year what we're going to do, and we've done it. Year after year after year.
Capitalizing on feedback from residents of the Forest City, the Rockford City Council passes the 2024 to 2028 Capital Improvement Plan. Focusing on aging roadways, bridges, and water facilities, the program emphasizes longstanding wishes from the Rockford community, fixing the city's infrastructure. City Council member Frank Beach supports the plan, but has a different idea of how to allocate the $322 million funding.
They should give that money to each ward and let us do where we see it's best. And I'm sure there are other streets around the city that are bad. My responsibility foremost is the residents of the 10th Ward. And we got plenty of places over there.
The plan will position 2024 as the biggest year for construction in Rockford, a fact some council members say will help bring jobs to the Forest City.
Those are good paying jobs and they support working families in Rockford and in some of the surrounding communities around Rockford. We're in a good place right now for people who are in construction trades.